This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
I guess.
We should mention the next day on the 22nd, you guys do a matinee show at the Omni. So on the 21st, that night you're in the Scope working with Robert Gibson, but a matinee show on the 22nd at the Omni. The Omni's usually the big nighttime show. That's not the case here. But on the matinee, it's you and Ole taking on Ron and Robert Gibson, Ron Garvin and Robert Gibson. And you're probably wondering, well, if it's a tag match and Robert Gibson's got a different tag team partner, what's Ricky Morton doing? Ricky Morton is in a steel cage match challenging the world champion Ric Flair in the main event. But unfortunately, that combination doesn't necessarily do gangbusters at the box office. There's only 2,000 fans there. In hindsight, do you think it was more that it was a matinee? Fans really loved the Rock and Roll Express as an attraction as opposed to Ricky as a singles. Why do you think we only had 2,000 folks here? Probably more with the matinee, do you think, or what say you?
I think you're right in both counts. The Omni, from my childhood on until I got in the business, and pretty much 90% of the time is Sunday night. That's usually when the Omni ran, not in the afternoon. When you split up the Rock and Roll Express, I'm not sure that anybody had the confidence in Ricky that he would win the world title in that cage. You know, they knew something was going to happen. You know, there were a lot of things, I think, that were out of the ordinary that caused that, you know, not to draw like it should have, because every other place was on fire. There had to be a reason. And I can't probably put my finger on it, but I will say this: the Rock and Roll Express together have more value than the sum of their parts as individuals.
I think that's fair.
And that's not a knock. I think the people are just conditioned to seeing them as a team going after the tag team titles.
Sometimes they just weren't ready for the singles thing. And I think, you know, people have said that about other iterations. I know when people broke up the Shield, people thought, well, there's more meat left on the bone here. Why would we do that? And obviously it worked out for those guys individually in the long run, but yeah, I just don't think fans wanted to see the Rock and Roll Express as singles just yet.
You may be 100% correct.
We're going to be back on the road on the 12th. You're in San Antonio at the Convention Center working in a singles match against Robert Gibson. So that's a different coat of paint, right? Not you in a tag match against the Rock and Roll Express, but you in a singles against Robert Gibson. We haven't spent any time talking about Robert as a singles competitor. How was he as an opponent in a one-on-one effort?
Fantastic. Great performer. You know, people loved him. You know, it's always, you know, there was a formula that worked for those guys, and I bet it's still working today, where Ricky did the selling mostly, I'm going to say. Robert made the comeback. But when you got Robert in a single situation, there was nothing he couldn't do. He had no shortcomings as far as his in-ring work. He could sell, he could make a great comeback, he could tell you a great story. It was a pleasure working with Robert in a single situation.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.